People keep asking how to let go while manifesting a specific person, and I'm telling you, the wrong advice can actually prolong your manifestation. So let me show you what letting go really means and what you can do to get into the state of manifesting them. But first, let's define what letting go actually means. It doesn't mean forgetting them, you're not thinking about them. It for sure does not mean ghosting them. It does not mean that you're not allowed to think about them. All of that is oppressing, and oppressing is not the same as letting go. Letting go simply means you try to let go of control. You don't let go of your connection to the other person. So when we say let go, then letting go does not mean giving up. It also doesn't mean that you should get into the state of, or I should rather say the habit of, I don't care about them that much anymore. I've had many clients that thought that letting go means to not care anymore, but they couldn't be further from the truth. So if you had gotten this kind of coaching before, again, this may actually really harm your manifestation. Make sure to watch this entire video, because by the end of this video, you will understand how to let go, what it actually means. So when we say letting go, what do I mean by that? Letting go means you stop controlling things like when were they online last? What are they posting online? Are they looking at me? Like any kind of signs. And by signs, I don't just mean reading them. What are they doing? It also means letting go of signs like seeking validation in any kind of form. It may be watching pick-a-cards, consulting psychics. It also may mean looking for any kind of synchronicities. Because all of that implies you are in the energy of they're not here yet, I don't have them yet. And unfortunately, that will continue on autopilot to manifest them not being there. The question you can ask yourself is, would I do this, what I'm doing right now, or what I want to do right now? Would I think this, or would I feel this if I were already in this happy relationship with them? And if the answer is no, then, that's a no. Then try not to think it right now, not do it right now, and try not to feel it right now. I know especially the feeling part is a little bit easier said than done, but it's not about perfection. It's about stopping loops. It's about getting into this downward spiral. Important is, I'm not telling you to oppress your feelings. If you are in this place where you're really sad still, where you are in pain, cry it out, let it out. Scream it out. Just don't harm anyone else, but find something you can do to let it out. I don't know if it's sports, if it's meditation. Don't bypass it, okay? We need to face our emotions. The thing is, if you are in this phase when you're still in a lot of pain because they're not there, then I would advise clearing the reasons, the main reasons they're not there. And that is not just like the mental diet or you're not letting go of them. The real reasons then are something that can be found in your past. Maybe there's a pattern that may have begun in your childhood. What you can do then is you can do the revision, or another technique like Ho'oponopono, or the tapping techniques like EFT, MET. You pick a technique and then you do it daily to release the old wounds, the old wiring in your brain. You need to rewire your brain, making your subconscious mind believe what you had experienced didn't really happen. Your conscious mind will remember, but we need to get you out of the state of the extreme grief and pain, and that starts with the self-concept work and not with manifesting them. You can of course check out my playlist on revision, but also I do have my revision scripts. You will find a link in the description box below, and in it I give you scripts that you can use as templates. They're not fixed, but they're templates on how you can rewrite your past. And I do have many different scripts for many different situations, and those are especially well for people who don't know how to revise their past. So I would advise to get this extra help and then get to work. No matter what technique you pick, you do it daily for 2 to 3 months. If you're not in this pain anymore, then it's a lot about the mental diet, which is connected to letting go. Again, the core question is, would I do this, feel this, think this if I were already with them? So what do I mean by breaking loops, as I said earlier? If you notice you start spiraling, you start thinking about the negative stuff, hold on for a moment, please write down that negative thought, because again, it will show you what the belief is, the inner assumption is that so far blocked your person from coming. And it is an assumption either about yourself, about a situation, or about them specifically. Here you can also use the revision and my revision scripts. So step 1 is you realize, okay, there is this thought that comes popping up, this negative limiting belief. You write it down for later, not for that moment when you're already spiraling. You do the work in moments where you are level-headed, not when you're not well. And then you stop the thought. You do anything. You distract yourself. You meditate. If you are spiraling, you can, for example, do something like find all the red objects in your room, or count back from 100 to 1, or name an animal with each letter, like A, ant, B, bear, C, chameleon, and so on. We just want to distract your brain in that moment to break the loop. And then you practice that. Every time you are spiraling into the negative thought, the longing, you learn to break the loop. Because you will notice usually the negative feeling follows the negative thoughts. And the same comes up with when this negative feeling comes up. Observe, what are you doing in that moment? Were you talking with someone about your person? If that gets you spiraling, don't do that anymore. Try to find the patterns that get you out of the relaxed state, and then you learn to avoid them. But of course, again, we do not want to just spiritual bypass. Take note of what it is, because it will show you what may need working on. And as I already said, what would you not do if you were already in this relationship? You would not go to your best friend and talk about how they still haven't reached out. You wouldn't consult psychics. You wouldn't go to, YouTube channels or Reddit or Facebook on your post or write in the comments, yeah, they haven't reached out yet. Stop everything you would not do if you already were in this happy relationship. Because you either are energetically in a relationship or you're not. You either inhabit the state or you don't. And naturally, you don't jump from not being in it to being in it. I mean, you kind of do. Every time you think about them, that jump is instant. In that moment, you are with them. But we need to train to make it the normal state. And that does not happen overnight. That happens by breaking the old negative thought patterns, reaction patterns, like observing them, talking about it. That is what needs to stop. So it does require a little bit of patience. It does require to maybe do it for a couple of weeks until you notice you don't automatically slip into the negative thought patterns or the old habits where you were obsessing about them, obsessively talking about them, because your brain learns to stop. You're not feeding the old energy. You're not feeding the old emotion. Instead, you learned to redirect it. And the redirecting, it's not good to try to do it in a moment where you are down. In that moment, we just want to get to a neutral place. That's what I said, distract yourself. Count in your head. It doesn't matter. Watch your favorite TV show. Just distract it. If you are no longer spiraling that much, if you feel like, yeah, I am mostly at peace, it just, I cannot seem to get over them. Again, letting go is not about getting over them. Many people just completely misunderstand. Or you are in a good moment, then it's the time to actively manifest them. And when I say actively manifest them, actually it doesn't have to be active like you sit down every day and you do a ritual. If you're the kind of person who likes rituals, you do that. Otherwise, just whenever they pop into your mind, that is okay. You are absolutely allowed to think of them, because you would think of your person if you were together, right? You think about the people that play an important role in your life, even if they're not absent. It's not about you're not allowed to think about them. It is more about how do you think about them? Do you think from the energy of, oh my God, I miss them? I'm giving you an example, a personal example. In the past, when I thought about my specific person, all I kept thinking about on loop was, how could I meet him again? And I had the craziest fantasies, like running into him, moving, and then he moves into the same house, like all this kind of crazy things, like how can the next conversation be? And when I was daydreaming, it was most of the time about these kind of things, my brain wanting to fix how can we get back into contact? Did it work? No, because I was in the energy of, oh my God, there's no contact. So that is also the kind of thoughts we need to stop. The how can it happen? What do I need to do to make it happen? Letting go means you don't do anything in the outside. You don't pursue them. You don't have to think about what to write them so they will answer. You don't come up with any plans. That is what letting go means. You let go of taking control. Manifesting is an inside job. You do it internally. You let go of needing proof and timing anxiety and the emotional bargaining. You stop trying to make it happen on the outside. Instead, you get to sit down and you ask yourself, what would my life be like if I were with them for 5 years already in the most happiest relationship? What would that be like? How would they treat me? What would our life be like? How would I feel? What would you do? I mean, would you already have a child, yes or no? Would you have a pet? Would you travel regularly? Would you cook together? It can be the crazy little mundane things like sitting on the couch and having a ritual of watching a specific show every week. It doesn't matter. What would you do if you already were with your person? And you can come up with different kind of scenarios, but they all must imply you are already with them. So instead of, oh my God, I'm not allowed to think about them. Yes, you are allowed to think about them. But that's another thing. Don't make it obsessively. Don't think, oh my God, now I have to think about them and us being together all the time in order to make it happen, because then you're still trying to take control, right? You're still doing it to make it happen. No, you're doing it because in that moment, it makes you feel good. And it doesn't matter if you're visualizing or daydreaming. The difference is visualizing, you have like certain scenes that you loop, short scenes, whereas daydreaming, it's more like a free flow. It doesn't matter if it's inner conversation. You just have the intention of feeling good in that moment and spending some quality time with them in your mind. That is what letting go is. You're not giving up, but instead of the negative stuff, you think about how amazing your life would be if they were in your life, permanently, stable, and with serious commitment. In your inner mind, when you have inner conversations, you talk to the version that knows they love you, that already committed to you and treats you like the king or queen you are. You talk to the version of them that knows that they are worthy for you as well, that you are on the same level, that you are the perfect team, that they are so happy to have you in their life. The version of them that is open for this kind of connection, that it is easy for them to let it flow. Or you can script scenes and then read them daily. It does not matter what technique you choose. If you would like to know about what technique is best for which kind of character or which kind of situation, then you can get my Manifesting One-on-One book. You will find a link in the description box because I explain all the different techniques, when it's good, when it's not good, for whom it is for, because we are all different. And maybe manifesting so far also didn't work because you chose a technique that feels more like a chore to you instead of something that you just do automatically, something that comes easy to you. So if you want to choose the right technique for you, get my ebook Manifesting 101 in the description box. But basically the thing is, are you in your state with them or not? Because manifesting, it's not magic, it's actually science. You rewire your brain by imagining in any kind of form, whatever suits you best, that you are already with them. It does change the literal structure of your brain. It does change your subconscious mind. And then it will happen. You draw it in. You don't have to chase it. But if you feel it is also hard to manifest them, because there is a block, then you can also get my free book with the 3 most common blocks. It is completely free. Link is in the description box below. And in the Manifesting 101 books, I actually give you all 18 blocks. But actually, letting go never means giving up. It just, you don't have to do more. And as I said earlier, you don't have to think about them now obsessively, because you would not do that if you were already with them. You think about them the moment they pop into your mind, and then you just turn it into a thought that makes you feel good instead of one that drains you or makes you feel bad and evokes the negative emotions. You don't have to plan on how to get together. You just see you with them. You just see yourselves together, and then it will come automatically. If you know someone else who struggles with letting go, who is in pain, make sure to send this video to them as well in order to help them understand what letting go means. Because if you understand what it means, it can already take so much pressure from you, and it will prevent you from blocking yourself instead of manifesting them. If you need more help, you can reach out for personal coaching. My link is in the description box.